There is a prefab home company located not far from where I'm sitting that pretty much straddles the US border, and it seems like they're flirting with the idea of expanding into the US market. I should just go there. Yeah. Hi, today I am in Delta, BC, standing in front of the Mint Tiny House Company. For those that didn't get the memo, they recently announced that they're getting into the modular home space, which was enough for me to reach out and say, hey, how are you? Can I get a tour? And they responded, sure, come on by. Today I'm going to be linking up with their GM, Paul. He's going to give me a tour around the inside of their factory, and then we're going to do a little sit down so I can find out exactly what they're doing and how they're doing it. Here's where things get interesting. Right now I'm about a stone's throw from the US border, so I want to find out where these are going to be available, because I already know they're available in BC, but I know a lot of people are tuning in from south of the border. We got a lot to cover, so let's get right to it. I am here with Paul from Mint Tiny Home Company. I originally heard about Mint when one of your flyers ended up at my parents' house. So I was like, okay, they are in fact a real company, I better check this out. Just got the tour of the factory and have a few questions and kind of follow up to the video that I did, I guess, about a month ago.
Yeah.
So I guess the biggest question for me would be, Mint's been building tiny homes for 10 plus years now, but you've recently got into the modular space.
Yeah.
What was the idea behind that move?
Well, it started in the most simplest way possible, which was, hey, we're making these homes on trailers. Can we make the same home, just not on a trailer?
Okay.
And the answer was yes, obviously.
Yeah.
And with the recent changes to zoning in BC, it did mean that more and more people could actually put ADUs on their property.
Yeah.
And so it was kind of like this. There's a few factors. So one, we were already making homes that fit that part of the industry. We can make them quickly, which seems to be one of the major barriers to getting a home.
Yeah.
We can make them, with affordability in mind. Certainly they're more affordable than anything you can buy that's stick lumber construction side of things. But then at the same time, there was some, there's some personal interest in it, right? We've got a few people here that were like, oh, I love to have that on the back of my property, but I can't do it on a trailer.
Yeah.
It has to be on a foundation.
Okay,
So,
interesting. So a few different factors led
Yeah.
to the decision. Since you rolled it out, how has it been received? Before we get into that, big thank you to Bombas for sponsoring this video. Hot take, one of the most underrated simple pleasures in life is a new pair of comfortable socks. I've been saying it for years now, and Bombas backs it up with a 100% happiness guarantee. I don't know how much thought you put into what you're wearing, but when I'm adding a new item into any part of my wardrobe, comfort is at the top of my list of must-haves. It's a requirement. When I heard they spent 2 years rigorously testing for comfort and durability, that was enough for me. Every Bombas item is thoughtfully designed for comfort, and the result is socks without annoying toe seams, t-shirts without tags all up in there itching your neck, and Ginch with minimized seams for all-day comfort. Are people out there reading tags fairly often? No chance. If being comfortable isn't your entire bag, don't panic, because there is a lot more than that here to get behind. With Bombas, one purchased item equals one donated item. I buy, they donate. Socks, underwear, and t-shirts are the 1, 2, and 3 most requested clothing items in homeless shelters, and to date, they've donated over 100 million essential clothing items. Whoa. Thank you to Bombas for sponsoring this video. One purchased equals one donated, so head over to bombas.com/carry and use code CARRY20 at checkout for 20% off your first purchase. Check it out. Since you rolled it out, how has it been received?
Yeah, so slow for sure,
Okay.
but I think that's got a lot to do with the fact that very few people understand what Bill 44 means, what the new zoning is, and how to kind of navigate that scenario. So we've actually been looking for people that can help our clients with that. So trying to add people to our portfolio where, if you are intimidated by the process, we can find somebody that will help you with the permitting. They'll help you with the site services. How do you get your foundation in? Like, how do you get started, basically? There's quite a few different paths, which can be intimidating for people.
Right. Yeah.
So that's the biggest hurdle right now, is just getting people educated in a way that makes it look attractive and not something that you just don't want to embark upon.
Right.
So,
Gotcha.
yeah.
When we went through the factory there, it's humming. Like, it's
Oh, yeah.
busy. It's all tiny homes right now. How many homes are you building a year out of that?
Yeah, well, we can build a home in 6 to 8 weeks.
Okay.
So, and that can be faster. It just depends on what we're building.
Yeah.
And so, it is a factory. We do have set processes and controls in place.
Okay.
And then where the literally where the wheels come off with that is
Right.
if somebody says, I want this custom feature and this custom feature and this
Right.
custom feature, and the factory, which is used to working like a factory, has to stop and think, okay, well, we got to add that in, or we got to move that around, and
Yeah.
and so. So it ebbs and flows how many
Okay.
we can make. It's
Yeah.
really determined by what the customers are ordering,
Gotcha.
and how big they are.
Right.
So we have units that are 26 feet long. We could produce hundreds of those
Yeah.
if that's all we produce.
Gotcha.
But we also have units that are 30 feet long and 34 feet long and 40 feet long and 44 feet long.
Right.
And well, you saw that the factory, it's tight. So we actually
Yeah.
even have to be careful about which units we put into the line so that they don't bump up against each other and you know.
Still have a little bit of room to work in there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay. One of the questions that I had before I came here, you were probably expecting it, is a lot of the audience is tuning in from the States. I know you ship your tiny homes, you were saying, all over the States, even to Hawaii.
Yeah.
What about the modulars?
So the modulars are, let's call it a work in progress.
Okay.
We have every intention to be able to sell them in the US. We have one little hurdle that we have to get over, but it's just part of the certification process.
Yeah.
We do have a significant amount of certification, both for the US and Canadian markets.
Okay.
And so, yeah, this is just one of those ones where, because we're just getting into it, you find out, oh, you need this certification in order to sell these types of homes in the US.
Okay.
So we're just in the process of getting it.
Okay. And not to put you on the spot, but I'm going to put you on the spot. Do you have a timeline on when that might be? Or-
Yes, the timeline is dictated by the US governmental agencies.
So we don't know.
Yeah,
we have no idea at this point.
Yeah.
Fair enough. What we're sitting in right now is actually one of your modular structures. You were saying it's 280 square feet.
Yeah.
What sizes will be available? And could you maybe talk about this specific unit? Because it's kind of a cool concept.
Yeah, so this is just a beautiful little standalone unit. It is meant for those backyard environments, so either for ADUs, and it's really versatile. So it can be stacked side by side, and so you could have multiple units side by side, and they could be short-term rentals. They could be almost like a motel, home kind of thing.
Yeah.
The other really cool feature with this one is we can bolt it to the side of our bigger units.
Okay.
And so we have our biggest unit that we're making on a trailer is 12 by 44,
Okay.
12 feet wide, 44 feet long. And we can actually design a unit that bolts this to the side of it.
Okay.
And what's really interesting with that is this is a complete lock-off unit. So this is a standalone apartment. It's got a bedroom, it's got a full-size bath, kitchen, living area, and we can build it in such a way that if you bolted this to one of our bigger units, it could also be a lock-off unit that you could rent out, or we actually took the plan and we turned this into the master bedroom.
Yeah.
And where we're sitting right now is the master bedroom with a full bathroom and an office to the side.
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really cool.
So we can create these really functional houses depending on which units get put together.
Gotcha. So I know it's going to depend where it's being built for, where it's going, how far, all these different factors. So I know nobody can hold you to it, but do you have a base price or like a ballpark of what this goes for?
Yeah, so this one that we're in right now is 115,000 Canadian.
Okay.
As is,
Yeah.
includes all the fixtures and everything.
Yeah.
Now, shipping and site services and setting in place is all more,
On top
obviously.
of that, yeah.
And that's all due to, you know, where is it going,
Right.
what type of foundation is going on.
I know you've got stuff you need to get back to, so I won't keep you too long, but what would you say sets Mint apart from some of the other options available?
Yeah, you know, certainly you want to talk about the people, like what sets us apart.
Yeah.
The team at Mint is kind of part of our magic.
Right.
Like the people that are here, you know, everything's built in Canada. It's all built in Delta.
Yeah.
And the entire crew here love coming to work every day. They love being here. And why that sets us apart is because the finished product that you see out the other side reflects that.
Yeah.
The care, the attention to detail, the pride, and the fact that everybody here just puts their entire heart into the house
Yeah.
means that when we have people get into our homes,
Yeah.
they're blown away. You know, I've had people come by, clients come by, and as soon as they got into the house, they had already purchased a house. They were getting us to build it, but they came for a tour at some point. And during that tour, when they saw one of our completed homes, they were just blown away by what it actually looks like when you're sitting in it.
Okay.
So
I like that.
So people
Yeah.
and finished product because of the people.
Very cool. I like that. So yeah, thank you for letting me stop by. It's always so much better to be actually seeing this stuff in person, because you can get some kind of an idea from a website, but I appreciate you showing me around and talking a little bit about what you're doing. So thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks for coming by.